Alright, I've played a bunch of Guilty Gear again today. It was fun. Actually, it was kind of fun. I've met a few players. Some of them are decent at the game. Some of them are really trash. There's actually a lot of them are trash, surprisingly. I thought a lot of people who would play this game were still were people who were a bit more familiar. But it seems like there's a lot of new players. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe because of Guilty Gear 2020. And I'm not the only one, you know. If the developers are saying they are taking feedback, which by the way I think they would definitely do, a lot of people are super pessimistic about it, saying that it's just PR bullshit. I don't think it is. You don't have a game that is so polished and playable already, and that is releasing in like a year. It's gonna release like late 2020, Q4, October to December. That's so far away, and it's already so polished. They already have demos version ready to be played, and they probably, I'm pretty sure it means they probably have characters already ready. The characters are already ready to be played. Maybe some polish a bit here and there, but they're already ready to be played. And if you say that it's just PR bullshit, then you're just an ignorant. I'm sorry, but that's how it is. So I think having a game that polished, that releases in 1 year, we can trust Artstation. And Artstation isn't like, I don't know, some weird game developer or game company that we cannot trust. But I'm pretty sure people have more eyes on Artstation now. There's more eyes looking at them, there's more people looking at them, and they probably want more people to get into the most iconic game. Maybe that's what it is. But I can see Artstation trying to do things more accessible for the casual audience. And I'm not saying this like they should ignore the people who play Guilty Gear right now. The people who play Guilty Gear should be acknowledged, definitely, and they should still have their word on what is going on. So I don't want things to be taken away from the game, but I want things to be more accessible. As a casual, you know, I'm part of the audience that they want, kind of, because I'm familiar with fighting games, but at the same time they also want people who are not familiar with fighting games. But so I would like things to be more accessible. It's an audience that I don't think should be completely ignored, and there's nothing, to be honest, there's nothing that will ever make a fighting game explode unless people suddenly have more interest into it. I think that's how it is. But fighting games being simplified, I think it's kind of a 50-50. It kind of helps, but it doesn't totally help. Now, simplification, like I said, I don't want things to be taken away. It doesn't mean that things should be removed. It just means that things should be more accessible. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to look at the controls first of the new Guilty Gear Strive, because there are some things that I think can be changed a little bit when we compare it to Guilty Gear Xrd right now. So we have all the controls right there. They're basically the same, I think. You have the things, something right here, the throw. This is something that some people have been complaining about, saying that it's more like Street Fighter now, where you have a throw that is whiffing and there's a whiff animation, and that it's on a button now. So me personally, I'm going to tell you what. I have a lot of trouble with throws in Guilty Gear currently, because in general, in other fighting games, the throw is on a button and it whiffs. There's not necessarily a whiff animation every time, but it whiffs. So to me, this is a normal thing. And I know a lot of people kind of complain about this, but to me it's normal. And I don't think having a throw whiffing is going to kill Guilty Gear. I don't think so. The other thing that we need to talk about, I also think that some of these things should be a bit different, just a tiny bit. Let's talk about the burst, for example. The burst, currently you use it with, currently they say dust plus heavy slash. So I think for the burst, it would be nice to have it on one button on the controller, just one button, a shortcut for it, which could be L3. So L3, but you press it like on push. So no double button. I mean double button, yes, as the normal command for it, but a shortcut directly on the controller would be easier. Another thing is going to be things like faultless defense, another double button thing. I think faultless defense should also be a thing, but it should be on L2. The taunt, because it's not a useful thing, can be on a double button in my opinion. And there's also, I want also to talk about the Blitz shield, which I've learned about only yesterday night. So Blitz shield, from what I've heard, it's apparently just a parry. It's just a parry. But from the video that I was watching, I think they were playing Guilty Gear. I don't know if it's the same in Guilty Gear Xrd, Rev 2. Apparently there's 3 different types of Blitz shields. And without going too much into details, it's just a parry, but there's like 3 different versions of the parry. And it doesn't attack if you hold it. I think that's the type of thing that I want to talk about. So it's a bit complex, it's a bit complicated. It's like not as straightforward. So I think Blitz shield is something that can come back because it's not in the game currently. I think it can come back, and I think as an easier way to have access to it, I really want to emphasize on the access part. So as an easier way to have access to it, I think Blitz shield should be with the faultless defense command, but you do it forward. So if you do faultless defense forward, it becomes a Blitz shield. And I realized I had the idea because I realized that Tekken 7 is indeed probably the most challenging fighting game to play right now. It's a really tough game because there's a lot of mechanics and stuff, but Tekken 7 is also a very accessible game because you don't press a lot of buttons. Something in Guilty Gear right now is that when I play, I feel like I have so many buttons to press. I feel like I have to really search on my controller what does what. So, and things happen super fast, and it's like, okay. So that back to Tekken, like I said, Tekken is good because everything is on one side of your controller. Like everything that is important in Tekken is only on the D-pad. Like if you want to block, if you want to dodge, if you want to sidestep, if you want to crouch, parry, all of it is just in your D-pad. So Tekken is very easy to play because of that. Like I said, having faultless defense mixed with the Blitz shield would be nice on the same command, except Blitz shield will only trigger if you do faultless defense forward. And that's a way to simplify the game without taking away the Blitz shield, right? Like I said, some people who went at Arc Revo and played it said it was fun, but there was a bit of restriction. And I think that's because of the new overall, let's say, design of the game, because now it's more ground and more neutral based. And because it's neutral based, you now have footsies that are more important. The other thing that I want to talk about is the damage, actually. So the damage in the Guilty Gear Strive is huge. Look at this. It barely deals damage in this game, but in Guilty Gear Strive it's massive, and it doesn't bounce like this anymore. So when it comes to things like this, I think what they are trying to do is they are trying to compensate with the fact that there's less combos. They want things to do more damage, but at the same time, I like the big damage. I really like the big damage. I appreciate it. It's something that I like. Big damage, short combos, hell yeah. But at the same time, it looks a bit uninteresting and a bit boring. That you just do this and bam, it's a hard knockdown and nothing happens. So like I say, if the this command grab, for example, does a bit less damage than New Guilty Gear, but you can do something after it, I think that's where people would be a bit more happy with the game. They just want to do a bit more stuff, and they don't want things to be too hand holding, you know. They don't want things to hold their hand too much. The damage, I appreciate it, like I say, but at the same time, I want to do cool stuff. Combos, like I said, they are not necessary, but a short combo is nice. It's always nice to do something cool, like a bit of follow-up. It's all that is. So reduce the damage a tiny bit, but add more opportunities to have follow-ups. And that's So the follow-ups, I want to talk about it more. In the new Guilty Gear, Dust, for example, doesn't work the same at all. It's gone. It's not the same thing. And to me, it looks automatic. But when you get a counter hit out of Dust, you have this weird follow-up in the new game. And it resets everything to neutral right after. It's super weird, and I don't like it. That's something I've talked in my very first video of Guilty Gear. I said I don't like the overly reset to neutral nature of it. I think it would be nice if at least the hard knockdown would be a not the hard knockdown. It would be nice if at least the follow-up led to a hard knockdown. That would be cool. Like it gives you advantage. Also, I think chip damage kill should come back. Right? It should be possible to kill with chip damage. Once again, defensive mechanics are easier in this game. Let's talk now about the wall break mechanic in that game. So the wall break mechanic looks cool. It looks cool. But the issue with that thing is that it is forced on the player. And the way you don't have to wall break the other player. It's a bit weird that you have to let the player fall. It feels once again unfinished. It feels like the combo, like the pressure, or should I say, it's not finished. It seems like you're not done and you're leaving something undone, and it doesn't feel good. It looks weird. It looks awkward when I look at it. So I think that the wall break shouldn't be automatic. I think the wall break should be caused by Dust. And it kind of sucks because currently the wall break mechanic is the one thing that is really highlighted in all the trailers of the new Guilty Gear. So it's like the new thing, but people are afraid to use it because it puts you in a less good position as a player. It should deal a tiny bit of damage, maybe 5% when you break the wall. So it's like an additional damage option for the player. Being triggered by Dust would be nice. Triggered by Dust. Breaks the wall and deals 5% more damage, and maybe causes a bounce when the player breaks the wall. Maybe causes a bounce. So you can do something like this. I think that would be pretty cool. Obviously, like I said, they can reduce the overall damage of the game a bit. Like things do like 50 to 40% of damage every time. It would be nice if it was like 15% less. Like 33, 35% a bit. Or maybe 25%. Not 50, not like 40%. Like go easy a bit on that, They should go a bit easy on that. And the wall break, I think, should be a damage bonus for the player. And also the meter boost that they get. The meter boost is nice, but I think the damage should be from the wall break as well. Not from the fact that you just slash an enemy and it's like 30%. There you go. No. I think that's a bit too much. So my current issue with Guilty Gear Strive, when I look at it, I think it's a pretty cool game. That's why I play this game now, because I want to get into it. It's that... So it seems like the characters are limited in the game. And maybe that's why also people say it feels restrictive. It's because characters have lost some of their tools. I am maybe assuming that it is because... I'm assuming it's because they haven't added all the moves and they are trying to balance the game around the new style, the new neutral ground-based thing. But I think character tools are very important in this game. I think it's the most important thing that they should focus on more than anything else, because they define the characters so well. And now that the game is no longer combo based, they really can go crazy on the character tools. Like Soul, for example. Like one of his really iconic moves has been removed from that game. It's no longer in there. And it's this thing. This is literally the first move I've seen Soul do. Like, so it's very iconic for Soul, and I don't agree that it's gone. Yeah, I think character tools should definitely come back. Chip's teleport can come back. And what if, you know, you add a bit of tweak to them because you want things to be more interesting? What if Chip could teleport in the air? You know, he uses his new Alpha Blade that go upward and then teleports in front of the player again. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe it's too much, who knows, but I think that would be nice. So yeah, things like that. I think they should just focus more on character tools, in my opinion, because the game doesn't have combos. Like I said, it doesn't have combos anymore. You can go absolutely crazy with that. Like, the tools can be insane in this game, but it kind of removed a lot from the characters, I feel like, and it's not right. Like, they added new moves actually to characters, but bring back the old stuff as well, and maybe tweak them to fit more with the new game. I think that would be cool. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all that I wanted to talk about. I'm liking that things like the dead angle being mixed with the whole RC system being simplified and all. It's all good. Like, I was listening to some people in the lobby today. They were making fun of a YouTuber, I'm not gonna say who, for saying that it was nice that the RC has been simplified because it was a bit weird. And they were saying that the RC is not weird at all, like, it's fine the way it is. Maybe it's fine, maybe it is. But if you take in consideration people who don't know these things, people who are not used to the game at all, RC is a very weird mechanic, and there's multiple ways to use it. So, like, you won't see this in any other fighting game at all. This is something that is very unique to Guilty Gear. And having it being a more straightforward mechanic is like very important, because you want people to use it more, you want people to focus more on it, and I think they did the right thing for this, and that's why I also like that they merged the dead angle into it. That way we don't have to worry too much about knowing a whole new book of things that we can do, you know. So it's important for the game to merge things more, to simplify things more, to make them more straightforward, and that's why I say the Blitz Shield can come back, but as long as it's a more straightforward mechanic, I think it would be fine. So I think the game is good, to be honest, but I think things are just spread left and right for no reason. Like, things don't seem to make sense, but they actually do. It's just hard to keep up with a lot of things. We have to press a lot of buttons currently instead of pressing 1 or 2 buttons to do one thing. It's tough. It's really tough, and I guess you can say that, yeah, but you just gotta get used to it. You know, in Tekken you also gotta get used to a lot of things, but overall things are super simple to get in. Like, things are very simple to do. The movement isn't that hard. Yes, Korean backdash is a thing, but that's probably the only challenge you have to learn in the game. The only mechanical challenge you have to go through. Because everything else in Tekken, like, Tekken is super complex in terms of things like frame data and stuff. Like, it's huge in Tekken. But the reason why Tekken is simple, like, I didn't learn frame data a lot in Tekken, and people are using all kinds of terms and words to define things, like power crush. I didn't know what the heck was a power crush until 3 days ago when I was watching Aris and he said that power crush is armor. And to me, it was just armor in the game the whole time. So I didn't know what the hell was a power crush. And the Tekken is good because it has such a good visual feedback that you don't need to know the frame data stuff. You don't need to know any of that. Visual feedback is super important. And this is something that the new Guilty Gear has already done right, is that there's a lot of visual feedback in the game. The hit stop animations that are occurring constantly, it's good. People say it's bad, but it's good because the game being more on the ground, less in the air, because air combat is something that gives an idea of swift movement. Things are very swift, very light, and they connect a lot. There's a lot of combo and flash stuff. But when something is on the ground, like the new Guilty Gear, you want things to be a bit more weighty. You want things to be a bit more impactful. And the new hit stop, it gives a new style to the game that is super brutal. I like it. Like it's weighty. It's like soul when it gives a slash. It's like damn, you can feel it by looking at it. So it's good. And not only it's good, the hit stop art is also good to keep up with what's going on the screen. Because currently, when I play the game, something I have trouble to do is to keep up with what's going on. Sometimes I lose focus and I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going on anymore. And if I land a hit, I'm not even sure if I landed it. But the hit stop in the new Guilty Gear is like, because of the impact, because of the effect that it has, you know you've been landing a hit and you know what you have to do. So that's the only thing I think the game should do. And it's already doing things right. Now, as players, I think people should guide it a little bit more, help the developers a bit more on that instead of complaining non-stop. Because they're trying to do something good. Like Artstation is not some weird company that people cannot trust. And I said it before, but the game is already at a state that is super polished. There's no way they won't take feedback. It's just throwing ideas, and that's something that people are not doing enough right now. They're just complaining. Some people have been throwing some really cool ideas. Like I said, having dust causing the wall break. That's a cool idea of someone. It'd be nice. So yeah. Like I said, check out the high level gameplay footage in the new Guilty Gear. It will give you a good idea of what the game would feel like when you get used to it. You know, when people get used to it, it will give you a good idea of what it looks like. So yeah. So I think that's it for this video. So thank you all for watching. Leave a like, I guess, if you want, or don't. And but it's nice if you can come here and comment, even if you have to talk shit. Post a comment. At least we will have to have a talk and we can share ideas that way. People talking is important. Anyways, I'm out.